5-star shout out. I'm not gonna say it because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in. You can't make you know what I'm talking about.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Side Jawn each and every Saturday morning. I'm your host, Dennis Holmes. I am here with a special guest today. We have Sanja from the Legal Score. How you doing, Sanja?
Hi, good morning. I'm doing well, Dennis. Thank you so much for having me on. I hope you're doing well as well.
Yes, I'm doing well. Been trying to get you on for a while. We finally got you here. I'm excited. Things I wanted to know though is some certain things about you, what's going on. But this is the putting it on a pod segment. Plus, there's also the fact that you hosted a podcast. We got to know everything that you've been through and what made you actually come together and be on podcast. But before we start, I wanted to ask you, how was your week?
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for asking. My week was busy, but productive and definitely a good week. I'm still standing, I'm healthy, I'm breathing, still smiling. So it's all a blessing. I hope you've had a great week as well. And thank you for asking.
Yeah, this was a difficult week a little bit. Nothing difficult than demands, just like more mental work. Had to learn some new things, new procedures and stuff like that. So it's working out pretty good. I'm liking it. Wrapped
Great.
up a couple shows, did a couple things. I'm liking the way things are going right now.
See, there you go. There you go. And you know what I just thought about, Dennis?
What
I
was
don't
that?
know why I did not put a backdrop up for myself, but it's okay. I have
You can
not
still
used
put it up now.
I can still put it up now. I don't
You can
you
still
know
put it up
it's
now.
so
Yeah.
weird. Like once I go on, I'm like, do I really have my little backdrop here? You know what? I don't even think I have it, and it's really okay. I may try to figure it out while we're here talking. If you see it pop up, you'll know I got it figured out. But if
That's
not,
right.
it's all good.
All it is, yeah. We are not here to shame nobody. We know it's hard work out here. So now again, before we get into your life, how you started, this week there was big news in I would say the sports world. There was big news in the sports world. Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini were caught having sexual relations, as they say,
Wow.
with these professional photos that I think somebody went and got them a private investigator.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. So I'm gonna be honest with you, Dennis. I knew all the other stuff. I knew all the hand holding and everything. So I did not know they were actually caught to the next level. But one could assume
No,
when
this is people was assuming sex. That's why I didn't say it was. I did the air quotes sexual relations. Now they was just holding hands and hugging in the pool. Okay,
okay, well, so yeah, so when we say, but I guess it's like building up the evidence because if you see A and you see B, then you know that C comes after both of those. So if you're putting those two together and you're
right.
looking at it like, okay, I see the hand holding, I see that there's 0 degree of separation between their bodies when they're walking together, then you
Mhm.
can only assume the C part, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, I was shocked. I'm gonna be honest. I was really shocked. Not that I put anybody on a pedestal that they can't, fall for certain things or they can't, be susceptible to the things that anyone else can. Because we're all fallible, right? Right, Dennis? Like no
Right.
one's perfect. But I just don't think that this type of scandal would actually come from Mike Vrabel. highly respected in the game, highly respected generally speaking. I've heard people speak of him in a positive way, being a family man. Um, Everyone in the country that are football fans know how he came from the Titans and literally should be commended and has been commended for taking the Patriots to the Super Bowl for the first time in a very long time with a rookie quarterback, Drake May. I know that's arguable because a lot of people say they didn't play anybody until they, got to the playoffs, but they got there. No matter what, they still were there. And, my take on the whole thing is Stephon Diggs was released. Perhaps, him and Vrabel were besties and Diggs left some of his, debris behind, and Vrabel just thought, why not? But Dennis, I thought that could kind of be messy. But on the flip side, there were people that said this has been going on for years and it's just now coming up to the public eye. There were people that said they actually were part of the entire scenario here, and to the degree that they've been, doing this for so long. These people were getting rooms and things like that for them the entire time for several years, Dennis.
I can believe that because she was covering the Tennessee Titans the whole time he was there, and they said that she was one of the most accurate reporters coming from the Tennessee Titans. There's also
accurate,
talks.
right?
There's also talks out there that when in 2015, the Washington Commanders or Redskins at the time, their general manager's wife said that she gets information through sexual favors. That's what was said. Nothing was accused, but that's what was said. I know one thing for sure. If you're going to do something you ain't supposed to be doing, you are supposed to be doing it in a dark place. Ain't nobody y'all don't need to get no air nowhere.
Right. I don't know how, and it's amazing how, Dennis, when once one person knows it, you notice how no matter what it is in life, once it gets out, everyone's like, oh, I already knew. They want to let you know that they've been this master secret keeper. But now that it's out, let me go ahead and get my 10 seconds of fame to let everybody know I knew about it too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. That's exactly how they be. And I just be sitting there to myself and I be thinking, I be like, how did you let this get this big?
Someone had to have gotten upset. This is what happens. Someone got upset and they're like, you know what? I'm telling it all. And so all of a sudden, these pictures that they thought were cute, that they decided, okay, we're going to go ahead and keep these for our own keepsake. They thought these were cute. So now with them thinking it's cute, here we go. We're going to go ahead and just post all these. We're going to let these out to everybody. I think that's what happened.
Well, no, those are professional pictures. Somebody got a private investigator. You ain't taking no pictures like that on no iPhone 17. Those ain't no iPhone pictures. Them ain't no iPhone pictures. Those are professional pictures.
Somebody from behind, but they didn't know were being taken.
Yeah, they was taken from a distance. Somebody put the cat out the bag on that one. Those ain't no regular pictures, man. They got them on the rooftop getting aired and got them chilling.
I didn't even see the rooftop ones.
Yeah, so that's why, to me, I don't understand it. Now, I'm a person with a couple dollars, and I've been to resorts where nobody else could go to, that you got to have a certain ID to get in, and that comes with a chef and a maid. Why y'all ain't at these resorts?
They got careless. They got reckless. They got greedy, basically. I don't know. Maybe they lacked the excitement. They felt like, okay, we want to take a risk to see if anyone will notice. I mean, it's a dumb move, but at the same time, that's what they did. I got my background working.
I seen it. I said, no.
That's what I've been doing. You probably like, where is she looking?
No. That's I like it. But I'm just sitting there, and I've always said to myself that it's just, first of all, if you're going to be a cheater, if you can't get that type of resort at the time, then you need to be somewhere in a dark place.
And with the money they're making, with the money both of them are making, right? You guys could have been somewhere where it was a private resort,
right? So where's okay? You can't just get into this resort. You got to have certain IDs and everything to get in here. Because the things we doing in this resort ain't about to be legal.
Your whole squad should have been signing NDNAs.
Right.
But I mean, I'm one of these people that lives by faith, Dennis, and my grandmother used to tell me what's done in the dark will come to the light. It doesn't matter when it comes to the light. You could be, we see people that be dead and gone and they stuff come up way later, it will come to the light. And something, it didn't even seem like they were even really trying to hide it. To be out in broad daylight and to be, amongst everybody. This seemed like a norm. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought they were the couple. I would have thought this was just his wife.
Yeah, I would have thought that too. And which makes me think maybe one of their spouses hired a PI.
Well, I tell you what, I'm one of these people that loves to dig into stuff, and it's going to be interesting to see because someone's about to get really paid. And I have an idea. It's probably going to be Vrabel's wife because you know how women are. I'm not saying Rosette's husband doesn't care, but I'm saying women make sure because, guys, they kind of look at things like, okay, we're going to file and we're going to do X, Y, Z. But then that's going to be it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Paul. Then we're gonna do that. But I guarantee you, Vrabel's wife is gonna think about the sacrifices she's been putting in, with the non-family time. But let's be clear, these reporters, one of my favorite reporters is Tracy Wolfson. I love her. I just love her. I think she's really well put together. She's always on her stuff. And she's really pretty. And these reporters are out there. Christina Pink is another one. Let's not forget about Pam Oliver, the real OG. They be doing Pam wrong with her hair and stuff, but
oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that.
They don't do our girl right at all, man.
I know some people out there are stubborn about like getting a different hairstyle. I know some people are stubborn about getting different hairstyles and stuff, but come on, dog.
No, y'all put wigs on her. Give her a sew-in. Give her some of these K-tips y'all talk about. This lady can afford it. I mean, and then for some reason, the ball always mysteriously finds her. There's always a ball to knock her hair sideways or somebody running into her. Pam needs to be entered into the Hall of Fame when she retires because she clearly has earned her keep in Canton.
Yes.
But honestly, Dennis, these ladies travel around with these coaches. And it's probably akin to them being like, not the same level. So don't get this twisted, servicemen and women being in the military. They're around these people 24/7 during the football season. And this is all they see. They eat, sleep, drink, with these players and with their media personnel. And, they're away from their actual families. But I will say this. If you don't have the discipline or you can't bring your wife at least along with you, you might not be able to bring your whole family because some of these coaches have large families. Bring your significant other, bring your wife. Don't get caught in this type of situation. Mike Vrabel should be ashamed of himself. He's not that young of a coach. He should know better.
Well, as of right now, only one getting dragged through the mud is Diana. As of right now. Now, ain't nobody said nothing to Mike Vrabel that I've heard, and he ain't been dragged through the mud like the rest of these coaches. Like Ime Doku, the coach that was coaching Michigan, Shane Moore.
Ime who went to Carolina, yeah. Sharon Moore from Michigan.
Sharon Moore, those guys got drugged through the mud. Dude, I don't hear that about Mike Vrabel.
Dennis, so in that segment, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about Sharon Moore. We can't just glaze over that. So as soon as we move, that's right, Danny. They're known to be cheaters. This is who the Patriots are. We should not be surprised that their coach now is leading the pack into the next era it's you've got to have some type of cheating scandal. They couldn't get the players, even though Stephon Diggs just had his 8th kid yesterday or the day before.
Hey, yo.
5 women pregnant in 1 year is insane.
Well, listen, obviously he's being very fruitful. I mean,
disgusting. Like, he's being very disgusting, and I literally think that. And so are the women that are like.
Why can't it just be that they having a good time? He can take care of those kids. He's doing what he got to do.
No, sir. In an era where there are diseases everywhere, people should be taking better care of themselves physically.
If he had an STD, he'd have been out.
No,
they didn't end it after him.
I don't believe that. I'm gonna tell you, and that's funny you said that, Dennis. I literally just last night was reading an article, and the first thing popped in my mind was like, everybody's signing the NDNA, and they are all disgusting. Like, I don't care, even if it was me, even if I was one of those. What does that say about me as a person? That good time, okay, then they need to be doing other things to make sure that there's all in it. You cannot father 8 children by 8 different women 100% of the time, unless you got custody of all of them.
Unless he got all of them living in the same on the same, I guess, cul-de-sac.
Exactly.
If he got all living in the same cul-de-sac, he could go from house to house. You go from house to house. He got a day of the week he could be at each one.
And he does not, as you see. Because Cardi gonna do with her kids what she want to do. They're gonna be with her on the tour, the Little Miss Drama tour, all that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cardi.
Shout out to Cardi B.
Yeah, but Stephon Moore, he like you said it best. He's a black man. They will not let that go. I just saw his video where he was detained.
He's been free of all charges.
Yes, but look at everything they're still releasing about him. They just released the video of him literally crying on the side of the road, getting out of his Yukon. Looks like a Yukon or a Suburban, maybe an Escalade. I don't know. Probably an Escalade. I think it was an Escalade. He got out of it. He was so calm and everything, but immediately started crying. Immediately. And then they had his interrogation. Like, this stuff is on Instagram. He's in there crying. Says she's trying to, take his career and his family. And I'm like, she's trying. Sir, you went to her house and wielded a weapon. Are we talking about the same? I mean,
well,
and then
that's not true.
Yeah, and then but then when he got the charges reduced, or were they dropped? I thought they were reduced to probation.
I thought he was dropped. I thought it was
okay.
Maybe,
well,
you would know better than me. I'm thinking, hold on. You would know better.
I didn't follow it 100%, but I thought they were reduced to a probation offense. I could look, but exactly, Eolus, exactly.
That's OG over there.
Yes, very, very. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that comment. But Sharon Moore was in there dapping up all the deputies in the courtroom after the charges were reduced or dismissed. I'll have to look and see why we're on here. But like, no one's doing that. He's highly emotional. And
a football coach.
Yes, a college football coach, no less. But let's be clear. This is the same dude that was crying when he took over Harbaugh's place, and they had won the championship. I mean, he was like sobbing like a funeral. So he's very highly emotional.
Yes. But like I said, those guys got in trouble. As we see, they still getting drugged through the mud. But I don't think Mike Vrabel will.
They're definitely getting drugged through the mud. And let me give you some information on Moore real quick, because while we've been talking, I actually looked them up.
Okay.
So this was not his first time. Well, we already know about the NCAA penalties and stuff like that. He pleaded no contest to this criminal matter this year. The trespassing and malicious use of telecommunications device as part of a plea deal. Now, his felony charges were dropped, but he is scheduled to be sentenced on those misdemeanors on April 14th. So he is not done yet. So everybody out there that's saying his charges are dropped, they dropped the felony charge, which was the higher of the charges. But let's be clear, Michigan, I believe, is a Commonwealth state, just like Pennsylvania, where you are, Dennis. And Commonwealth states with misdemeanor charges can still carry up to 12 months to a year in custody. So he still may do something, but it looks favorable that they would have dropped the felony. But I'm gonna be honest, this is just my opinion. I'm not a lawyer, but not yet. Yes, I'm on my way. But just from my experience, because I do have 20 years of working in law enforcement and with the courts and things like that, it would not surprise me if part of his plea agreement was for him to enter into some type of mental health counseling.
Yeah.
Be it anger management, or basically something with domestic violence. That's hilarious, Danny. Exactly. And you know what? I noticed the Carolina Panther look when I came on here. I was actually gleaming to myself. So, Danny, thanks for pointing that out. He does have our colors. I love it.
Yeah, I ain't a Panther fan, no.
He's not even Philly. He's an Eagles fan.
I'm an Eagles fan, but I was excited that y'all beat Green Bay, though. That made my day. Yeah. And the Cowboys. When y'all beat Green Bay and the Cowboys, that made my day.
Yes, the entire nation was happy that we beat the Cowboys. And I got some inboxes from some people about Green Bay, about the Rams the first time, people finally was taking us serious. Yeah, we'll definitely we'll latch on to that because I can talk about my guys all day, every day.
Anyway, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that. But as far as us wrapping up the Diana and Mike Vrabel situation, like I said, I think it's time for both of them to go ahead and file for divorce and let it be known and get over with.
Do you think, because honestly, even though we say that, and I wholeheartedly believe that, that's just me. In this day and era, we just don't see that a lot, Dennis. We see people just staying in there. Especially celebrities. Next thing you know, we'll see
the divorce rate is high. You thought we don't see that a lot?
It's high, but for some reason, and I've seen it, or maybe it's just the generation that's right behind us. They seem to take a lot of stuff that we don't take. We don't take all of that stuff. But if you think about it from a perspective of financial, like Danny just said, his wife is entitled to a lot because as far as we know, we don't see anything on her, and we don't see anything on Diana Rossini's husband. We don't see anything about him. But this all started in Sedona. These pictures came out the end of March. Here we are now, the middle of April, and Danny said she hopes she takes him to the cleaners. But both of them, Dennis, are denying this. No one has admitted this. So even with these photographs, Vrabel is saying that these rumors are laughable, even with the pictures, that they're completely innocent. And then Rossini actually said they were part of a larger group that people didn't even realize they were with, that they separated them out from the group. Like they made it look like they weren't with a group of people, that they basically edited these photos. And so I don't know, page 6, they're like part 2 of the TMZ in their own right. They actually had them holding hands. So that right there and lounging by a pool together is definitely not part of a group picture. Because what are y'all saying? Are you saying you guys took these pictures but to be clear, even Apple phones, Dennis, they have this new clean feature that you can erase people out of pictures.
Right.
You really can.
This ain't no Apple phone. This was definitely a professional picture. You can't get that type of good picture with the iPhone 16. These guys got, from a distance, from a distance.
I mean, but not putting her out there. I know, but it's been all on TV. So, for instance, my doctor is on she's on Married to Medicine, and they had pictures of her husband that were the same thing, and she did file for divorce, but then she withdrew her divorce, and they are still together, but the narrative remains on and off the show, and that's been a couple of seasons ago. The narrative remains on and off the show. Every now and then they'll still bring it up, like to kind of throw shade. So that's what I meant by saying, will they divorce? Sometimes people just stay in there.
Well, maybe you know what? These private investigators got to do more than just have pictures. They need to start having video. This is a video era anyway.
Yeah, with sound. We need to hear.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get sound, but video.
They need to get Joey Greco on there. You remember the show Cheaters?
Yeah, they got what you call them on. Well, I don't know who's hosting Cheaters now.
Sammy Roman is on there now.
Well, a couple of years ago they had Peter on there from Peter Guns.
What? They got some nerve getting him on there for what?
Peter Guns was hosting Cheaters at one point, mate. He was on a good job until he got into that fight. He was on a good job until he got into that fight. Now, I mean, he didn't start the fight, but he was trying to explain to the guy what was going on with his girl at the house, and the guy couldn't take it and wanted to fight somebody, so he got into a fight with Peter. Now,
well, I don't know if you remember, Joey Greco was on a boat. They followed this guy on a boat, and the guy, like, they got a separate boat, and this because this guy was out on a boat with his side girl or whatever, and
Best
Joey
got
and Joey got out there on another boat. First of all, y'all going out on the water after these people is crazy. So many openings for an accident to happen at this point, and it did, but not like nobody going in the water. The dude like used one of his like little fishing baits or something and like hooked Joey and stabbed him. Like he cut it with his fishing stuff. Wow. And that was it. Like the camera, I was like, this show is wild. If you roll it up on somebody that is doing that, they are not going to be, first of all, they're going to wonder who you are, and you riding up on them with a boat. And then number two,
because honestly, the boat is the best place to cheat at because you can't get no signal. So whatever you was doing, ain't like you can call someone, I just seen your man. You ain't seen nothing.
Yeah.
So whatever you got recorded, you got to hold it and hope that it was a good recording.
Yeah, well, Joey and them went up there live. They went up there live on the show, and the dude like tried to gut him. He's like, I've been stabbed.
Yeah, Peter Guns was on Cheaters, man, got into that fight.
Peter Guns don't need to be on nothing with Cheaters. He is the mantra for that show. I still think about how he was doing Amina and what's old girl name? Tara.
Tara was going to her real job too. Yeah, while she was on the show. She was not listening to their work.
As she should.
Yeah, she should. I like the Tara.
Yeah,
Tara
you're right,
cool.
Danny. Absolutely. No, this was years ago that Janet, I think it was before the Robert Wagner situation. This was, I don't know, in the 90s or the early 2000s when that dude was like, I've been stabbed. I was like, oh, snap. They stabbed.
That's definitely 2000 Cheaters.
Joey.
Yeah. But if you cheating somewhere, you got to be cheating somewhere that you can't get caught. That's why I said they should have just went to, got a hotel. If they wanted to be in a pool, get you a hotel room with a jacuzzi in it. Make sure you keep the curtains closed. You shouldn't be doing nothing but tagging ass. That's it. And then order and DoorDash.
And I'm saying just leave. Just leave. If you can't be, this is me. If you don't want to be tied to one person, just don't get married. Don't get married. Like, I don't know. It's the thrill and the excitement for them. It's the thrill and the excitement of knowing they got this secret life that no one knows about.
Well,
and
everybody loves the secret life. What you talking about?
Everybody has one, but it depends on what it is. Everybody don't got a side chick or a side dude. Everybody don't have that. They may have they may be a double agent because they work so many jobs like you used to did this during the day, and then you got to do your podcast or whatever. But this right, my theory is just Vrabel is too old. And clearly,
I don't know about that too old. We had a whole president that was cheating. I don't know about that too old.
Oh, we can't even talk about that. Even back in the day, was Theodore Roosevelt, all them. Like, I don't mean like from that perspective. I mean from the mental perspective that they should be in a better disciplined mindset than to conduct themselves in the way that they're conducting themselves. When I say too old, like basically you should know better.
All right. Well, this is the last thing I'm gonna ask on that. Now, AOC, Attack on Cowboys, did a show with him yesterday. He said that Diana just threw the women back 2 decades with that type of episode.
How would she single-handedly throw women back 2 decades when we see a smorgasbord of activities for men? And like you said, they don't drag them. They're not even really dragging Vrabel. They're just like, oh yeah, by the way, it's like a by the way. Here's
they drag certain men,
and here she is. Absolutely, Eolus. Absolutely. And it's like, my thing is this: if I know she didn't personally throw me back, so if he's looping in every single person, that's a him issue. That's like a Stephen A having a personality issue with one person like Matt Barnes, as opposed to everybody that plays in professional sports. I mean, he does seem like he has an attitude with everybody, but at the end of the day, that's a Stephen A issue. That's not a conglomerate of everybody that's on there.
Okay. I understand what you mean. Okay.
I like to say the verdict is still out on that one, so we'll have to follow up on this and see what comes out, because it's still, the tea is still brewing. You can't pour the first cup when you start brewing while the brewing is still going on, because then you'll take all the flavor out for the rest of it. So it's still brewing.
I like it. It's still brewing. So now let's talk about you. Let's talk about you now. What I want to know is, what made you start doing a podcast?
So actually, coming up April 14th will be 14 years that I actually started the all-female fan club for the Carolina Panthers, the Carolina Pantherettes. And in that, I found out our membership just started really, really growing. Of course, during that time, we had not gone back to the Super Bowl. We had gone in the 90s, but had not gone back. And basically, oh wow, 51. Okay, Danny, yeah, that's definitely not old, but old enough to know. But at the time, I wasn't aware of how to do like lives and stuff like that on Facebook. So I would go on YouTube to kind of, do a little 1-2 about what happened with the team and this, that, and the third. Well, during that time, my uncle was still with me, and he's like my second dad. My dad passed several years before this, so my uncle was always like a second dad, being his brother. And he would be like, hey, I watched your show, you're really good, da, 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 da. And then it kind of branched out, because I was like, let me see who we're playing Sunday. So or who we're playing Thursday. And I had this mentality like, okay, you got to know your enemy. You got to know your enemy. So it started with Atlanta, because I was living in Atlanta, still living in Atlanta, but originally from Carolina, for those who don't know. So that's why I'm a Panthers fan. But know your enemy. And so I would start looking at who we were playing the next game. And like, okay, let me see what they're looking like. And then I would look for that team to play other teams, to try to kind of look out for, what we need to be aware of when we get ready to play them. And then it just spread, because as you know, if you're following 4 teams and they're all in the 3 teams, other than your team in the NFC South, those teams are playing everybody else. So if you're concerned about knowing your enemy in your own division, now you got to keep up with the schedules of everybody else. And then it just branched out. And then I started realizing I really liked a lot of other players. Now football was not foreign to me. I grew up with it. My dad and my uncle and my brothers were always watching it. But I wasn't really paying that much attention. It's kind of like I was saying last night on my show, with my segment Friday with the Fellas. It would be on, but I would just be walking through, with talking to someone else. But it was always the guys in that room, and so I had an opportunity, and I saw just how this thing was super fun. I started asking my uncle questions. We started watching games like together. He's in North Carolina. I'm here in Atlanta. We would watch them on the phone, and basically be just, talking about the game, talking through things. And then I started, actually before that, I started going to games in person. And so I was just like, oh, wow. So the first time Atlanta beat my Panthers during the time I was going, I called my uncle up. And I was like, I was literally in Charlotte, leaving the game. Actually, not that particular game. It was another game. And I was like, hey, Unc, oh my gosh, like we beat y'all. And he was like, who is we and who is y'all? And I was like, we are the Falcons and we beat the Panthers. He was like, what? He's like, oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. You were born, raised, educated here in North Carolina. You should never say, of all people, the Falcons are we. I was like, but I live here. He was like, no, no, no. So from that moment on, I was like, you know what? I don't even know. And I didn't have no Falcons gear. I just was cheering for them. He was like, I don't even know why you call me saying that. And so from that point on, it reversed. And that was back in like 2010 or whatever. And so
that's when you became a Falcons fan in 2010. Okay. All right.
Not a Falcons fan. That one game.
I meant Panthers.
That was my first game I had gone to, and I rooted for them. No Falcons gear, didn't even have on red and black. But said that, had the conversation, and everybody that knew me that was my friend here in Atlanta said that conversation created a monster, because it literally made me like dislike the Falcons to a degree that I like hated them. Like I rooted against them with everything in me. I don't care who they were playing. They were my nemesis. And so it just turned in. The podcast started getting bigger and bigger. Then the Panthers went to the Super Bowl and it just exploded. In 2022, I had an opportunity. Mac McGrath's wife, Linda McGrath, reached out to me on Facebook and was like, hey, we saw your podcast. We're interested in you joining our network. I thought it was spam. I'm like, what? Let me look this up. I don't even know what, because I had just been sitting down with my notes. Dennis, just reading notes, not like to my face, but I would just be talking to the audience. I didn't have guests on. I didn't have any of that stuff. And Matt gave me an opportunity. Super grateful for him and Miss Linda. Unfortunately, Mac passed last year. We're coming up almost on a year on it. And he was such a mentor to me. I love him and love Miss Linda so much. But in him opening that door, my podcast jumped enormously. I've had the demographics run where I've gotten 40,000 and 50,000 views on average every single month on my platforms. And I'm extremely grateful. I've met a lot of amazing people in that. And so I dedicate all my episodes to my uncle. Unfortunately, he passed in 2018. And every time I do an episode, matter of fact, his birthday was just a couple of days ago. It makes me feel like I'm still connected with him, because that was our last conversation. He always told me he felt like I was good. I used to kind of pre-record myself and send him things, and he'd be like, this is great. You're going to be the next Pam Oliver, or something like that. And he'd be like, just when you get your tickets and you get famous, I know you want to be a lawyer, but I want you to, just take me to at least one game. Take your uncle to one game for sideline. So that's how I got started. I actually love what I do. I get an opportunity to meet a lot of people. The show was called All Things Football from a lady's perspective. Then I was like, well, got to cover all the sports, And I grew up as a tomboy, so I watched a lot of those. And so NBA, MLB, my dad was a baseball player, like a local league, farm league there in North Carolina growing up. So I covered that. And then now, within the last month, I renamed it to The Legal Score, because I do a lot of other stuff now other than sports. I talk about a lot of law stuff with me being, studying law and things like that. So I just love it. It's a great it's my therapy. It gives me an outlet, to kind of break the monotony of regular life and interact with people like you, Dennis. So yeah.
Yes, that's how we met. We've actually met because I think you were doing the NFC East show, if I'm
Mm-hmm.
not mistaken.
NFC South East, yeah, one of them.
It might be NFC East because you asked for the Eagles, you
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah.
And
Eagles and
so,
Cowgirls.
thanks to B Striller the Thriller,
Yes, my
um,
new production. Met him and now
yeah,
he's the producer.
yeah. Me and B Striller, we've been he used to be on my show Talk Years Tuesday. I met B Striller through another
Lovely.
guy, John. I don't know how that relationship is, so I don't even want to say eat or add to it. I just leave it alone. But they was a whole group together, and I met them, and me and B Striller still tight. I'm still tight with John too. I still see him on TikTok from time to time. So that's basically how that went. But he hit me up. He said, "I need you on the show." And I was like, all right, no problem. And I had me and Fully Sports Guy on there, which I see him everywhere, Fully Sports Guy. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he's everywhere.
yeah, that's good. And it was real nice to be on the show. And I was like, oh, this is nice. I need to get her. After that, I started following. He was like, I need to get her on the show. And then I watched the show, see how things was going. And I was like, yeah, this would be nice to get on. She's actually a Panthers fan. Can't find no Panthers fans. Just want to let you
That's
know.
what they say.
Can't find no Panthers fans.
Yeah. Well, I'm diehard. As I tell people, y'all can look it up. Like we have about we had close to 12,000 members at one point when Cam was there. Then of course, there's people that are players fans and then there's team fans. And so when Cam left, we dropped down to about 8,000, but we're still going strong.
I got the cheapest tickets in the world, though. That's the one thing I like.
Yeah. I saw that Eolus has a question here. Sean McDermott reunited as a coach. No, we are solid with Dan Morgan right now. We're pretty happy with him. I don't know when he would come in as a coach. Sean is, doing his own thing, maybe an assistant. I mean, we're pretty solid right now, Eolus, with everything, honestly. This is probably the greatest position we've been in a long time with drafts and with people we've re-signed, 50-year options, all that stuff. So we're not moving nobody.
This is a good position that y'all in. But it's about time for my son, Bryce Young. He got to do something.
Yeah, this is the year. This is the year right here. This is it. Like as they say, Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence said in life, we on deck. We next.
Next. Upper room. The upper room. Yeah. Definitely on deck. Definitely next. Now, with podcasting, you were saying now that you got producers and, you got a team helping you. How did you come about getting that team?
Oh, my goodness. That's what I'm saying. It's all Mac, literally. Mac and Miss Linda, because of the connections I've made. I've met some actual NFL players have been on my show now. I've had people from the Dan Patrick show on there now. I've had Olympians. I've had other media out of your neck of the woods, Dennis, up there in Philly, ESPN reporters. I mean, they had connections with a couple people, and I used those connections to make other connections with other people. And so I met Brian, because I was a guest on your show. I invited Brian to be a guest on my show. And in the process of Mac being unwell at the time, and we unfortunately knew that he was, just in such a dire position that I was running everything, all the shows, I was doing all the production. And then when classes started, I was just like, I don't know what to tell everybody, but I literally can't do it. Like, I know my classes are going to conflict with this. And so I was talking to Brian, not knowing that this is what he does. And he was like, well, my own show, I'm the one that's done all that anyway. And that's something I have an interest in. And I was like, well, could you just please help me? Could you help me a little bit? And I promise, I'll come in and do what I can. And he was like, I got you. Just focus on school. And I look up, and next thing I know, Brian's got everything covered in more ways than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
And it was, like I said, just a blessing, just the connection that started with Mac that now allows me to be able to just do my show and be a guest on other people's show. And, I still run my own boards when I do my solo show, but when I have guests on, and then also, don't let me forget this, Pink Fan Fur. I don't know how I did not mention her. She is a diehard Carolina fan. I met her through my club because she's a part of my club. And I didn't know how talented she was. She has her own, persona with the super fans. There's super fans throughout this country with different teams. But Pink Fanfare is very talented, and she does all my promos behind the scenes. So, for instance, my backdrop, Brian did that. You guys want to see that?
Yeah.
But Pink Fanfare does all my reels and promos for every show I do. She'll do a video, she'll post them on. She manages my Instagram pages and one of my personal pages on Facebook. And so I've just been surrounded by great
she's a super fan?
She's a super fan. She's Pink Fanfare.
Okay. I gotta see if I can get her on the show. She's
she literally told me that she just started doing shows and stuff. She said because she thought I inspired her. I was like, girl, you got this, So, but she has super fans throughout this country. Come on. The only thing, because they're all positive. So I know I could never be a super fan because I show out with games. I don't ever be positive against the enemy. She'll have she had the Raminator on there the day before the playoff game against the Rams. And I was like, girl, why? And she was like, girl, because I was like, no, they are the enemy. We got to stay in the playoffs. And so she does all that, She has some Cowboy Angel was on there, a whole bunch of people throughout.
Yeah.
Of course, our number one fan is Mad Catter for the Panthers. We love him, but
Yeah, I ain't never meet him either. Like I told you, it's hard to find Panther fans.
I got you though. I'm the plug for the Panther fans. You just let me know.
Okay. Yeah. It's hard to find Panther fans, but you got the Pantherettes. You got all the girls over there. That was a nice club that you started.
Thank you.
Yes. I looked that up and I seen it. I was like, she started the Pantherettes? So I had no idea about none of this.
Yep. And April 14th, 2014.
Okay, so you about to be on 11, 12 years. Okay.
12 years. 41414.
41414. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Thank
now,
you.
With you being a Panthers fan, y'all had a lot of, down years. So the excitement is finally coming back now. What was it like during those down years?
Oh boy. So you just watch it if it was on in the background. I didn't have a PSL then, which is the season tickets, the personal seat license you have where you own your own seat. Went to a game and hoped they would win. It wasn't as thrilling because some teams they never win, so they just are loyal fans because they go to the game. But with me, it was like, okay, let's go see if our Panthers can pull it off. It was just something to do. Like you was just kind of like out of duty, out of responsibility, out of routine that you go see the Panthers play or you watch them play on TV. And so it's very difficult to go back to that once you've been up for a little bit. It's very difficult to go back. And I think the pain is felt more recently than the prior years. Because if you think about it, so the team was started around in 95, 96. All right. During that time, it was like, okay, this is a new franchise. Let's see what they're going to do. But then they went to the Super Bowl. So that era of fans that really liked them were like my dad, my uncle, all that age group. Because when they came out, I was in college. So I really wasn't into sports like that in college, not football. I was into basketball. Those were the sports I played. I ran track, things like that. And so I wasn't paying attention. But then when you go to the 2015 era, when we were beating everybody, we beat everybody that season except one. And it would be the team that I live in that city. I couldn't even get up to go to work the next day. I was depressed like someone had passed away. Mm-hmm. And I was at that game. And then to go back down the spiral, it goes from like all the emotions. You go from hope to denial to sadness to anger to frustration. You just everything. And it's so much of a roller coaster. And that's why they call the Panthers the cardiac cats. Because we would have seasons that we just let up off the gas and we had the game in the bag and just every game, a field goal or less. It was very disheartening, very frustrating. And there was a couple of games I was literally like, I can't even watch this game. I'm going to have to just tune in the fourth quarter because I knew it would make me angry.
I understand. I've been there before. I'm an Eagles fan, but I've been there before. I understand.
Yes.
I understand. Now, do you have a PSL, as you call it now?
I just got it back. And let me just put this out here. I'm not the happiest with the Panthers about that because this is how they get you. So everybody pay attention. I don't care what team you follow.
And give me before you go too far. Now at the end of this, I want you to give me a ballpark figure on what it costs for one. All right.
Okay. So I had two sets of. This is my third PSL. Let me start with that. Okay. I had a PSL in the upper bowl where I had 2 seats, right? When my uncle was living, I had 2 seats because I was planning on taking my uncle with me. My uncle passed away. We never got a chance to go to a game in person, at least not in the physical. And so after that happened, I contacted them. I had paid the PSL off. That's the thing. So a lot of these teams, I'm pretty sure all of them allow you a payment plan that you can, get your PSL, which is your permanent seat. And all you got to do is buy the tickets every season and that's yours. Well, I paid it off. I paid off 2 seats. And then I was like, okay, I don't know nobody from Atlanta that's going to be trying to support the Panthers like that. And I don't know nobody that really would take out time to go to that many games. So I'm just going to get 1 seat. So I contacted the Panthers. I was like, hey, can I get credit towards a lower bowl seat? I've already paid off these 2. They were like, okay, sure. This is the price difference you're going to have to pay. So I got moved to the end zone, section 200, right at the beginning of it, right at the end of the 100. So I was on like, if you're counting rows, I'm probably like row 15 from the end zone. Very good seat, right? All the way down, maybe between row 11, 15, somewhere, but very close to him. So I paid the seat off, right? Should have been still paying on it, but was like, nah, I'm just going to go ahead and do 1 lump sum and get it over with. So I don't got that bill coming out every month. Paid it off. Last year, I did not get my season tickets and they took my seat. Wow. So I contacted them. And last year, well, it was 2024. I had COVID real bad. So I wasn't going. Like I had COVID really bad for like 11 weeks, real talk. Ooh. And so I had it documented, everything. I had to take leave from work, everything. I was pretty sick. And so didn't get the season tickets, didn't think much about it. They do tell you like around May, hey, this is your season tickets. Start making your payments so you could be paid off, blah, blah, blah. I ain't do it. So I contacted them this year. Like, hey, can I pay my balance from last year so I could just go ahead and get my seats for this year? My tickets. They're like, oh, you got to repay for your seat. I was like, no, you don't understand. I've already paid. I don't remember. I think the whole price was like $8,000 or $9,000 for that seat. I was like, I've already paid that seat because you got to remember I had credit from the 2 seats I had before. And so I think I ended up paying like maybe another $2,300, something like that. And it was paid off because they had given me credit from the 2 seats in the upper bowl. So they were like, yeah, no. I said, oh, no. We're not paying for this again. So you need to talk to somebody because I've already paid it off. And they were like, no, it's in your contract. If you miss 1 season of your tickets, you no longer have that seat. You have to buy the seat all over again. Yeah, that's how they get you. So I have the seat, and what's crazy is nobody bought the seat. It's the same seat. I literally have
I know ain't nobody bought the seat.
Right.
And nothing against your team, but y'all are at that point where it's like you'll buy your tickets the day of, because if you buy season tickets, they're gonna charge you up the wazoo. But if you buy them the day of, you probably could buy a seat for $60 and then go sit in somebody else's seat that ain't there.
Well, I will tell you this. They are hardcore on seating though. You're not fixing to buy $60 and go down to the lower bowl. They have that sold up. If your seat is in the upper bowl, you are not going to just freely walk around that stadium. They don't. Now they might do that in some other stadiums. They're not doing that in Carolina. Their seats are always on lock. They got people to check your ticket before you even allowed in that section. And so
they do that everywhere. They check.
Yeah, but they may have, to your point, when them stadiums were real empty and it looked like the other team was really the home team, they probably was letting folk do whatever during that, because we seen it on TV. I was like, they can't even adjust the camera enough to look like it's enough people in this game. But like, it's about 2,000 people in this game. What the heck?
That's it.
So they may have done it then, but after this last season, oh no, their phones is ringing off the hook now, because fans is coming back. Fans like me, even though I was sick, now I really want to come back. So
you're gonna go down there for what? 6 games, 7 games?
9.
9 games.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna do all 9?
I probably will not. What I usually do, Dennis, is I get the seat and I will sell my ticket. Let me just put it to you like this: I sold a Cowboy seat for $600. My season tickets normally run me, I think it's like maybe $1,100 or $1,200 for the season. So I had half paid off my season just with that one ticket. So if I paid it back,
time out. You got to pause on that. Pause.
Yeah,
it's an investment. A season ticket is $1,200.
Yeah, but I told you where I sit, right?
Where you sitting at?
I'm like on row 11 in the end zone.
Again, a season ticket is $1,200. Do you know I went to the Eagles' first game of the season after we won the Super Bowl? You know I spent $600 for that one seat.
Yeah, that's why I do it.
On average, the seats in the Eagles Stadium about $350 now, $350, $400 for that same seat you're talking about. The same seat
if you're buying now, but to your point, that's why you get the PSL. Exactly. You're welcome, Eolus, because if you buy the day of, it's a hit or miss. The Panthers this year, because everybody know they're riding high, you're gonna pay $300. I go on StubHub, SeatGeek, all of those. The cheapest ticket. Okay, let me just put it to you like this: I'm going to Canton in August to the Panthers and Cardinals game. I'm gonna go see Luke Kuechly inducted. I'm gonna go see Drew Brees. I love Drew Brees. Not a Saints fan, but I always love Drew Brees. Larry Fitzgerald and Adam Vinatieri and Roger Staubach. I'm going to get to see all the. I bought a ticket to go to the enshrinement ceremony this time. I've been to Canton before when Tony Dungy got inducted in, but I was invited as a guest. I didn't know all the stuff they had going on. I went to the parade and I went into the hall itself and did a tour of the hall. This time, I'm going to the enshrinement ceremony. I'm going to the actual Hall of Fame game because I did the math. I wasn't going to go, but then I looked it up to see how often do teams play in that game. And they said it's every 30 years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, let me do the math. So 30 years ago, they did it. I was still in college. I didn't think nothing about it. They're going now. That means it's not going to be another 30 years. I'm like, okay, I hope to still be here, but I'll be older and I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that trip at that age. So let me go ahead and go now. So I'm going to that game and everything is piled up. The ticket for that game, for the Hall of Fame game, was $160. And that's because
hope it's refundable because it always seemed to get rained out.
What?
Yeah, that Hall of Fame game is one of them hit or miss joints. Like they may play it 3 years in a row, but then the next year, it's rained out or rain delay, some type of rain something.
Well, I don't know. The year I went, it did not rain. I went in 2016. It didn't rain. I just didn't go to the game.
Man.
but it is refundable up to your point. And I
That's
hope
good.
they do get a chance to play it because me and one of my best friends are going. It's her birthday, and I wanted her to come with me. And we already got like everything else. And it's crazy because the hotels there are not much. Like it's a very small area, and Akron, Ohio is right next to that. And it's crazy the prices that the hotels and stuff are that August 6th through the 9th compared to what they are August 1st through the 4th. It's crazy. And you really do have to be consistent purchasing those tickets early because the thing thank you, Danny. The thing about the tickets, like I said, if we weren't doing well, and certain teams travel really well, I always just look at it. If I can't make the game, I sell it. There were like maybe a couple tickets that I could not sell.
You said certain teams travel real well. I was just letting you know.
35, 50% off face value. Yeah, exactly, Danny. They are off that because it is much cheaper in the long run. That's why I go ahead and get them. Because if I'm getting 1,200 for 9 games, sitting that close in, I wish I could put a picture up of my preview of the field so you could see like it's a win-win for me. Now I'm not happy about repaying for the seat. That's another story, but this time I will not be paying it off early. They'll be getting it on a payment plan until it's paid off since they don't put interest on it.
Yeah. Well, that ain't bad. 1,200. Yeah, if I could pay 1,200 for some season tickets, because I remember I heard that from one of my homies. He's Atlanta Falcons season ticket holder, and I was just like, "What you paying for season tickets?" He was like, "Oh yeah, well, it's like 1,300, 1,200." I said, "What for the year?" He was like, "Yeah."
I almost got their season tickets just because I'm here in Atlanta, and sometimes I love to go to their games just because I'm so frustrated with my team. I just want to go see the Falcons lose, so it's like a win for me. And but
I like the
didn't
stadium too. They got a nice stadium.
Their stadium is. Let me tell you something. I pass their stadium every day coming from school or going to school. I saw the stadium when they first opened it. It is an experience.
Yes.
Arthur Blank and what he did with that stadium, you can't even go in there and say anything negative about it. There's no bad seat for real. Even if you're in the nosebleeds, there's TVs everywhere. Even when you're going to there's concession stands every single few feet. You're never going all around in circles. The Panthers need to take notes on this about their stadium. Seriously.
A lot of people need to take notes about the stadium. A lot of them.
That stadium is so nice, and the food is so reasonable, and it's good. You can get refills on your drinks without paying for them, and the drinks is like $4 compared to $9 and $10.
I didn't know that part.
Yes, and they give you a cup. You can come out and refill your drink the entire game, Dennis, without paying for it. It's a stand. You pay for your cup, and you go throughout, and as long as it's not alcohol, you can refill it, and they keep it on the entire time. You just come out, refill your cup. It's awesome. I love that stadium, and the food is good. They have a good mixture of types of food there. It's affordable, and I do have a good time when I go. And I will say this: the last 2 times I went to a Falcons game, I went with a friend, and I sat on the field behind the Falcons on one game and behind the Panthers on another. And all the food is free in there for you if you pay for those tickets. I was sitting behind.
Yeah, my homie told me that. And you can eat and drink all you want to.
Yes, some of the players and stuff like that. And I don't even want to go back in the regular section now that I'm sat behind the team, because even when I went to New Orleans in December, I immediately got a ticket right behind the team because I was like, I'll pay whatever just for that experience, because it's just, you get to meet so many cool people. I met Sam Mills Jr., Sam Mills' son. I met some of the players' families there. I met everybody sees the bishop and the pope that they show on all the Saints game. I met them, took pictures with them. I mean, it's just an experience for me. So even though I was disgusted because I knew we should have won that game and we were winning that game. At least it was a good thing. And I got some real close-up pictures with Bryce. So there's that. Exactly, Danny. See? That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. We know you ain't no Rams fan.
But I would like to go to another team's game. Like I'm coming to Atlanta because I want to go see my Tennessee Volunteers play Georgia Tech. And this will be my first time seeing Tennessee Volunteers.
The Vol.
And they getting to play Georgia Tech. But I was like, I might go to a Falcons game that next day if they home. If they home, I might go to a Falcons game that next day.
Gotta plan it. I guess the schedule will be coming out here soon when we see who's
next month.
Schedule come out. Right after the draft.
After the draft. And then after that, I'll just go ahead and pay for it and get it out the way. And that'll be my gift to myself. I get to go see my Tennessee Volunteers, then I get to go see the Stinking Falcons. Yeah. But I get to see Bijan, so I'll be happy to see Bijan.
Bijan, congratulations to him on that 5th-year option. Was it 21-point-something million that they got on him? But they had to pay him. They have to pay him. That dude he just beat Falcons records. He was the top running back in the league last year, even beating out Jonathan Taylor, which everybody thought for a minute Jonathan Taylor was going to be a comparable run for him, but I don't know what happened with the Colts. They just imploded.
Yeah, right after week 8, they just went down. Things happen though. Things happen. I was happy to see y'all start winning, but now, like I said, y'all just got to get a little bit better offensively. Y'all got rid of Rico though, but I knew y'all wasn't gonna pay Rico because y'all just paid Chuba Hubbard. So
let's be clear. Rico wanted out because it worked until it didn't. And let's be, we love that Rico came in. He was a difference maker. Chuba needed that fire under him to get where he needed to be. Chuba had been there, had been up and down, stagnant at sometimes, and it was necessary for him to realize that, hey, we got somebody in here that may be getting your job done. You better get on your job, sir. And then once Rico was making all this, let's be clear, Rico played through injuries. We've seen him get injured during a game and come right on back out. And he has heart. We love that. We thank the Cowboys, if for nothing else, let's be clear, we don't like y'all, but we thank y'all for sending Rico our way because the Cowboys wasn't paying him. And so he came, exploded. And Rico wanted out. Rico went on his social media, started unfollowing all our stuff. He wanted out because he saw that there was 2 RBs and you can't play one. Can't pay or play, but one. But at the end of the day, the running back shelf life is very short. And I really was hoping we could keep Rico. But that's all right. We'll be targeting probably K Conception in the draft here out of Texas to try to circumvent that coming up. Yeah.
They're gonna get another wide receiver?
They're gonna get, he may be the one that they're eyeing in the draft. If they don't go with
three, y'all gonna look like the Detroit Lions back in the day. Y'all not about to spend y'all 3 first-round picks 3 years straight on a wide receiver.
Let me tell you, they got some other people ahead of him. But if he's the last one, because we're picking at number 19, if he's the last one that's left, then that's who they're gonna grab.
I think y'all need to go ahead and get something else. Maybe an offensive lineman. Something else. Y'all gotta do something else. It cannot.
Yeah, they wanted let's see, they wanted to get, let me think real quick who it was.
Y'all cannot be getting another wide receiver.
Don't give too much credit. You know what? Whatever, Daddy. Daddy makes sure that he is on every platform on. I'm really appreciative because his Panther hate is absolutely real. So
what's his team? What's your team, Danny?
I think he's Seattle. That's why he's coming out the woodwork. They finally won something. Our first priority though is hopefully, because T-Mac exploded. Him and Jalen Coker were the unsigned dogs. Yeah. We're first looking at like Kenyon Sadiq for tight end. We might, try to get him because of his body. And if we don't go for tight end first for our mock picks, we were looking at Monroe Freely, the offensive tackle out of Georgia.
That's a good pick too.
We need him to be able to run up and protect Bryce. We need that dude. We need him because his speed and his size would be what Bryce needs, to drop back in the pocket or whatever. If we didn't get him, then they said we might get Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo, the safety, special teams.
Oh no, y'all can't get him. What y'all doing?
Why not? Why
He's
not?
supposed to go to Philly.
Well, he forced 10 fumbles and had 5 interceptions, so he's tight.
Yeah.
And then if he's not available, that's when we would go to KC Conception. Oh, that's right, Danny. My bad. You know what's crazy? Danny, I think I told you I was a Redskins fan before we got the Panthers. Like, I had family in DC and everything. So
I know. I
don't know.
I was going to ask you about that because I'm like, you up there my age now. The Panthers weren't always there. You had to like something.
Yep.
Like something.
But I will tell you this. Thank you so very much for sending Jalen Phillips to us. Thank you. From Philadelphia. We appreciate you guys.
Y'all overpaid the hell out of him. I was a little upset about that. I thought light skin was coming back.
I don't know. I mean, he's gonna pair it with Derek Brown, and that DB is awesome.
It's crazy because y'all didn't want to pay y'all didn't want to pay Brian Burns, and and I was a Brian Burns hater.
What has Brian done up there?
Hold on. Now he had a good season this season. I mean, he had a real good season. He only been there 2 years. He had a real good season this season. But before when y'all had him, I didn't think he was that good. But I think he was good enough to get the money that he deserved. I just didn't think he was that good. But then y'all paid Phillips. Y'all just paid Phillips. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking like, I could just gave that money to Brian Burns.
Well, I'm going to tell you. So let's be clear. Before Brian Burns went up you guys' way, New York, let me be clear. Before he went to New York, the Rams were offering us a first-round pick and a gang of money for Brian Burns, and we didn't let him go. Right. And then he had a dismal season. So it became very apparent that this is the kind of season he was going to have repeatedly with Carolina, because Carolina at that time was suffering on both sides of the ball. We are just getting to the point where the announcers aren't talking trash every game, even the announcers, as soon as they come on about our defense, and then, of course, subsequently the offense. So Brian Burns on that team would not have been advantageous even now. Sometimes it's about the players that are around you. You are only as good as your team. There's no I in team for a reason. He could not be everything to that team in and of itself. He goes to another team. We see it with quarterbacks. Look at Daniel Jones. Left trashy New York. Then he flourished for a little bit. I mean, now he's back to being Daniel Jones, his regular self. But look at Sam freaking Darnold. Sam Darnold from the busted Jets comes to Carolina, wins about 5 games. Christian McCaffrey goes down. Same old Sam Darnold comes back, busted again. Then he serves back up for, I believe it was the Rams or somebody out there in the West. Then he goes to Seattle, before he gets there, goes to the Vikings. Vikings don't keep him. Then he goes to Seattle, and we know the rest. Now you're a Super Bowl champion. So sometimes it's the people that are around you.
Okay. I agree with that. Definitely agree with that.
Yeah, so Brian Burns, he can burn the road up, as they used to say. You can burn up the road. That's what we used to say growing up. Get on out of here with that. We paying Phillips. Hopefully he pans out. That's too many P's, but paying Phillips, hopefully he pans out. Like I like to say, the verdict is still out on that. But I would have thought the same thing, but it's been a season separated from that. Now, had they released Burns last year and immediately signed Phillips, I'd have been like, whoa. But then you have to look at the numbers, look at the stat comparisons. And Phillips with you guys was decent compared to what Burns was with us before he left.
Okay. I mean, it's a guy that stays injured a lot. And, I thought we was going to give him like $15 million, and we was going to get him like 3 years for $45 million, because he came here, he didn't really do a lot, but 3 years, $45 million was good. And I knew his upside was going to be high. He was going to be a 10-sack guy by the way he was playing. But then y'all just gave him $30 million out the I'm $30 million.
I know. I told people I'm going to go suit up, tuck my hair, of course, scrub the makeup. I need to just be a player. Just let me get signed for one day. I'll take a hit and then go down that I'm done for my NFL career is over. But I'm paid. I'm literally.
It ain't like you. Well, it ain't like you ugly without the makeup. I seen you without the makeup when you was doing your workout videos.
Oh yeah, I
Listen,
forgot I was posting those. I got to get back to working out for real.
yeah, you was doing your workout video. I seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I was saying I wanted to look like I was a dude so I could play. Like get the money because they got money for
You're just
days.
trying to get a couple million, right? You ain't trying to get too much.
Yeah,
Just a couple million.
just a little bit.
I understand.
Yeah.
Definitely understand. Now, you talk about the season tickets. Talk about the Pantherettes. Let's get into the legal side of things. What made you get into the legal side of things?
So, everybody in my circle knows I wanted to be an attorney since I was a teenager. I am currently in law school here in Atlanta.
Well, wait a minute. Why did you want to be an attorney?
Well, when I was younger, it was just because it was like, this reputable career. I felt like it was for smart people. My grandmother used to say I was always arguing. So,
Was it anybody you seen on TV like that you wanted to be?
Not originally, but then when I got in high school, I saw Johnny Cochran and the whole OJ trial in the 90s that interrupted my soap operas and everything. Thank you, Eolus. And so
she said soap operas? Hold up now.
Yes, I used to sneak and watch them. I wasn't supposed to be watching them, but I would be watching them. But I was like 16 in 91. So I remember the OJ trial very well. And it was on for months, seemed like. I guess it was like 3 months, something like that, 2 months, 3 months. Mm-hmm. But even when I graduated from undergrad, my grandmother said, Neil Pearson is your father, but Johnny Cochran is your daddy, because she just knew, before Moneybag Yo said it, she liked to argue, so I sent her to law school. That's what my grandmother said to me. She was like, I would argue anybody down. I would come with the facts. I was not going to be, proven wrong. So she was like, you need to go to law school. And so it literally was in me. And that's why I wanted to do it. As an adult, now that I've lived some things, I want to do it for a totally different reason. It's not about me. It's not about the look or anything. It's literally about servitude. It's a lot of people, especially in our communities, that are on the wrong side of the scale. I'm not saying people should get away with anything. I feel like there's an accountability measuring stick, and I think that it is not always accurately measured. And I also want to get into some civil rights and some law reform. I think there are a lot of laws out there, even laws that are advantageous to other ethnicities, that things that are legal or illegal that should be revisited. And it's about, like I said, just helping someone. No one comes to lawyers when they're happy, for the most part. It's either someone dealing with some financial issues or some freedom issues. Those are the most parts that people seek out attorneys. So they need help, and they need people that are willing to help, that are compassionate to help, and that are thoroughly trained and understand, with the logic and the analytical side of the law. So that's why.
Okay. All right. I like it. So how many more years you got left?
Well, I'm going part-time in the evening, so I am at the halfway mark. I got like another 2 years. So I should be coming out in 28.
Okay. All right now. That's good.
It feels like forever. I keep toying with the idea of taking like some extra classes or whatever, but I don't know when I would fit those in, or like switching over to the day section again. Because I started in the day section.
If you're comfortable where you at, just get it done. We will be here to congratulate you when you're done. And we're here to cheer you on while you're going through your journey. All right? That's what you always count on.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've worked in the courts for a long time, so I've seen all kind of things. So we definitely need good attorneys.
Now, what made you move to Atlanta? Let's get that out the way.
So I'm originally from North Carolina. Like a couple of weeks after graduation, I moved to Virginia, and that kind of was just like a stepping stone. That really wasn't on my map, but I'm in a sorority. We had our regionals, and I had met some young ladies there like that spring when I went on spring break, and I was like, it's basically who was going to hire me first. So I had this job offer in Virginia and Richmond, so I went there and took it, but I always had the heart to come to Atlanta because, let's be clear, I love music. Back then it was Jermaine Dupri, had TLC, Everybody was down here, the Young Bloods, the Outcasts, everybody. And during that time, I actually, me and my sister grew up singing, and I wanted to be a performer. I felt like that's what I was gonna do, and so I, wanted to come down here, and I did do some karaoke nights and stuff like that, but not a whole lot. Um, but I, even before I moved to Atlanta, I had met the CEO of Blackground Records in Virginia, which was with Aaliyah, Timbaland, Missy Elliott. I met them in Richmond because I worked for this firm where this young lady that was working there knew all those people. So
Nice.
they were like, you got to get to Atlanta if you really want to do this. And so I had already thought about coming to Atlanta anyway. Back then, it wasn't going online looking for jobs. You had to get the classified section. And my ultimate, goal was always to get to Atlanta anyway, because it just seemed like it was, more stuff going on, more things, more, opportunities for people to grow. And coming from a very rural area, Dennis, my hometown had a population of like 3,000. And like I had 103 classmates that graduated with me. So very small area. 85% of the town is related. Very, very small. We got some flashing lights, all that stuff instead of just a stoplight. So I was trying to go where nobody knew who I was. I wanted to just go and just be lost in the group.
And you said you was in rural Georgia?
Rural North Carolina.
Rural North Carolina, okay.
Yeah. My hometown is Red Springs. It's outside Lumberton, Fayetteville, near Fort Bragg, the military base, Pope Air Force Base, all that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from.
I was in North Carolina twice. So,
okay, yeah, Robeson County.
Yeah. I was in Charlotte and I was in Durham.
Okay, everybody knows about those places, but you got to go to the east of those. Like an hour and a half east of Charlotte is where I'm from. You heard of like the NASCAR racing and stuff? They talk about Hammer Down. Okay, so NASCAR is in Rockingham, right? Rockingham, North Carolina. They have a racetrack there. Everybody be racing out of Rockingham. It's even past that, like 74 East. 74 East runs from Charlotte, where it actually runs from the mountains all the way over to the coast to Wilmington. You just got to keep 74 all the way till you get to like the almost Lumberton area.
Okay.
We off 95. And
that sound pretty good. Sound pretty good. I'm gonna go back to North Carolina again. I gotta go see the Chocolate Girl again, so I'm gonna go back down there again.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that sounds pretty good. I like the way things are going with that. That was nice. So now you just in Atlanta. You in Atlanta or you outside Atlanta?
No, I'm in Atlanta.
You in Atlanta?
Yeah, I was outside Atlanta for a little bit. I'm in Atlanta.
Because everybody used to tell me that they was in Atlanta, and then I'll be like, "Yo, I'm in Atlanta," and I'll be at the hotel or something. Oh, yeah, I'll be there in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
realized they was never in Atlanta, but they could get to Atlanta fast. Nobody really lived in Atlanta. When I start going to the house, nobody lived in Atlanta. You know what I mean? That's what I noticed.
They got this song say it's not Atlanta, but no, I'm in Atlanta. I'm literally Atlanta. Area code and zip code is Atlanta for now. I'm thinking about moving out of Atlanta, honestly, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, I like
Atlanta. Go to the area, but
every time I'm in Atlanta, I have a real good time. I love Atlanta. Always have a good time. I love it. I'm a strip club guy too, so I gotta get back.
Oh, that you know what? There's where you lost me.
Yeah.
That's the main thing people come down here for, but that's not applicable to me.
I was in there. I haven't had the wings. I ain't ordered no food in Magic City, but I'm gonna do it this time when I go. But I ain't had no food in no Magic City. That ain't what I was there for. I had water. Yeah. I was there for a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Magic
City, yeah. Have you been in there? Have you been in any of them strip clubs?
Have I been in any of the strip clubs? No.
I'm just saying, a lot of people go.
Not Magic City. I don't think I've ever gone in Magic City. I think when I first moved here years ago, I had gone into a couple of them with other people. Right. Not like when there was performance or anything like that. Like we went like during the day, probably the meth time. And I literally was asking people like, why do y'all have like meetings and stuff in these clubs? And they'd be like, oh, it's just the environment. I'm like, how? Like, how do you have a meet? I didn't understand the concept. I had like people would ask me when I first moved here, well, do you smoke? And I was just like, why is everybody smoking? I'm thinking like cigarettes. I didn't know they were talking about, marijuana. And everybody I met was like, do you smoke? And I was like, no. Do I look like a smoker? I started like, do I look like a smoker? They're like, no. And I was like, why do so many people? I asked somebody finally, why do so many people smoke cigarettes? They were like, girl, they're not talking about cigarettes. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, my grandparents raised me and my dad, and my grandfather was a minister. Anybody I grew up with will tell you, I am the poster child for shelter. Now, let's be clear. I got out and did a lot of stuff behind their backs, but most 90% of the stuff I didn't do. So I didn't even know about it. And they were like, are you serious? So I tell people that, exactly, Eolus, disgusting. It's like, I just be like, so anyway, Dennis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I do want to have a fantasy football draft in the strip club.
Oh wow, in the strip club?
Yeah, during the day though. During the day in the strip club, have a fantasy football draft there. Let the ladies put the stickers up. Yeah,
Probably get a lot of people. I didn't even think about that. That would, they be having these draft parties. We got a couple of them going on here in Atlanta. My girl Janine from the Commanders. If Danny, if you still on, she's a Commanders fan. She has a fan club here in Atlanta. You would be happy to know that they're doing one.
Does she want to be? Well,
she's part of the Unity fan club that I'm with my boy Kurt, Champ, Vic. We got a lot of people throughout the city. Kurt Smith runs that. Of course, Anthony Fernandez now assisting as well with that. But I met a bunch of people, Shawnee Adams. They're all fans of different teams that have fan clubs. But Janine with the Commanders, they're hosting a draft party show at some restaurant. I gotta get the promo.
Oh, you talking about that draft? Oh, okay. I'm talking about like fantasy football. But that draft.
Oh no, I did a fantasy football too. Yeah, I'm part of a couple of leagues.
Oh, you do the fantasy football? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I just started doing it. I was trying to think what the name of this place was in case I could plug them out real quick.
Give them a shameless plug. Go ahead.
Give them a shameless plug. So the NFL draft party, watch party is going to be April 23rd at 7 p.m. at Taco Mac. And this is here in Atlanta, and the Taco Mac's location is...
Taco Mac sound good.
Yeah, they have a few of them. Okay, this is Taco Mac Sandy Springs. The Prado Springs. It's Taco Mac Prado. Taco Maco Prado, which is and I love Taco Mac, by the way. They have other stuff other than tacos, but they do have really good tacos. But this is in last year they did BB Dubs, and it was not the best experience. They had a lot of people show up.
Buffalo Wild. I know I ain't gonna say nothing bad about them, but
they were not ready for the crowd last year.
Some places is not ready. I was about to say some places just not ready.
They literally had told them they were coming, and they waited on their food over 2-3 hours for some wings because they were not ready for the crowd. And
they shouldn't have been like that because the wings only take 12 minutes to cook. Right. I know this because I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay. BB Dubs.
Yeah. They don't take but 12 minutes to cook. So if anything, you should have been waiting 15 minutes for you. Even if you ordered.
Do you have the recipe at your house now that we can, get some wings? BB Dubs. What recipe? The DD. Yours is gonna be DD Dubs.
I mean, what is it that you want? Because they just cooking regular wings. They ain't doing nothing special.
I thought they have different flavors.
They got sauces. You can buy them sauces anywhere.
Then that answers my question. You can make these at your home.
Yeah, you make these at the They actually sell these sauces. Some of them are worth buying. Some other ones.
But it's kind of like, okay, for me, I've gone to Starbucks, right, and bought the coffee from Starbucks instead of in the store. It just does not taste the same as if you buy it freshly made there at the counter.
Okay.
And I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
I don't drink coffee, so I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why I was asked about the BB Dubs, because even though you could buy the sauces, it's always just something that's a little off about it. it doesn't taste the same as in the restaurant.
Well, I believe that your fried chicken is some good fried chicken.
Okay.
I'm gonna take your word for it that your fried chicken is some good fried chicken. So
Yeah.
adding the sauce would just be like the cherry on top. That's all.
Okay. Bet.
That'll be the cherry on top. So next time you in your local supermarket, y'all, what y'all got? What's that green supermarket y'all got? What's it called?
We got Kroger,
Not that
Publix.
one. Public. There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Public. Yeah, that's the green one. I've been in that one.
Yeah, I know that like the Midwest, they be having Myers. I be saying Myers and all that stuff.
Yeah. Some people don't call it Kroger's, they call it K. Rogers.
K. Rogers?
K. Rogers, yeah.
That's gonna stick in my head. That's like people say Target instead of Target.
Yeah. So like so if you I don't know if you into comedy or not.
I love comedy.
But there's a comedian out there, his name is Ali Sadiq.
Okay, yes, heard of him.
Ali Sadiq tells a story about how he was working at Kroger's, but he always say, well, we ain't call it that. We call it K. Rogers.
I'm gonna have to check them out. I love comedy. I'm naturally a funny person. So if you can make me laugh, you really are funny.
Yeah, I like comedy. I like going to stand. That's another place I like going to. Not just strip clubs, but stand-up comedy clubs. And actually,
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Getting to know some new talent and actually see them perform and stuff like that. I love that as well.
Yeah, I've had some friends try to get me to do that, and I won't do it. Like to perform because they say I'm like, nah, I'm literally like naturally a funny person. Like I don't even be trying to be funny, and people say that I'm like I missed my call, and I've heard it my whole life.
Man, there's a couple of comedians that's in Atlanta with you that I thought was. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to Rodney Perry, who's going to be on the show.
Yay.
Yeah, he actually said that he was like, no, you funny. You just need to learn how to write some jokes, but you funny. That's what he always said. You funny.
That's the thing. Like I don't want to write. Like my comedy comes just from like normal conversations, and people just be like, "Girl," like ever since high school, like I'll mock people. Like I could just pick up on their tenor and their voice, and just like I could mock you, Dennis. I could do your whole voice right now, and people will laugh, and they'll be like, "Girl, you missed your calling," you know, and it'll just be funny.
You could do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me hear it.
So right now, everybody, you know, we got Sonya coming on here. I think it's before. Yeah, so man, I mean, your Panthers really ain't doing too much right now, but you know,
no, they're not.
Let me know what you think about them, but you know, y'all might be doing a little something, though, B. You know what I'm saying? I
don't think I sound New York, but I understand what you're
That ain't New York. That's not New York.
You said B. We all say
you
B.
Guys. I added that part on there. You guys that heard me, let me know what
Jawn. We say Jawn.
Y'all think about my Dennis impersonation.
Yeah, we say Jawn.
Yeah, because y'all say Jawn.
We say Jawn. And welcome to the side, Jawn. Jawn is a noun.
Just Dennis. You know,
so what you got going on? What's next for the legal score? Where you taking this for the Pantherettes? What's going on next? What can we attend with the Pantherettes? Because I want to come to a Pantherette situation, meet some of them.
All right, so we be having tailgates and stuff too during the season. And that's funny you mentioned that. I hadn't even like put that out there yet. I'm talking to, so I have ladies now. They help me run the page because with thousands of people, there's no way I could keep up with everything. But we have what's called ambassadors in different parts of North Carolina. And they help me. So we do like individual stuff when it's not football season. Like during the holidays, we do like a lot of collections of toiletries and stuff like that to make donations. We've done that. We've also done like donations to Red Cross and stuff like that as well. But for the Pantherettes, for entertainment purposes, we'll do like tailgates before a couple of games. We've had huge turnouts when we do tailgates. Gotta definitely get back to that. And that's where you could literally find us. We usually be up on like Mint Street, right behind it's Wells Fargo now. 1 year we were on Tryon, right by the stadium. That's where we usually set up at, but it's really a good time. We have the flat screen out there. I normally drive. Well, last time I had my truck, we had generators out there for the flat screen. So people that can't, that don't go in or whatever, they stay out and hang out with us. The coldest game that we did a tailgate, I will never forget, was against Seattle. And some of the ladies in the group, I have to credit the ladies that are service women in the military, because they are the reason why the group just went like into the thousands real quick, because they were stationed in different areas and they were still, sharing the Panther love no matter where they went. They would meet other Panthers fans, internationally. So we have like members on our Facebook and our Instagram that are like overseas, and they're in the group, and they talk about different things or whatever. On game day, we have a game chat or whatever for them to be able to engage in. But that specific game, those military ladies had heaters out there. They had the heating lamp that you could bring, and it was so cold. It was so cold. I had on like 2 jackets, thermals, everything, but those heating lamps was the difference maker. And so I just had to plug that in. But that's where we be at, Dennis. That's what we do.
Okay.
Every now,
yeah,
every now and then.
But
yeah, I was gonna say every now and then we might air like a little rerun of a game in the group, while there's like a little lull or whatever. Of course, I share the streams. The stream that right now that we're on is actually being shared in the group right now. So we keep it popping, as they say.
Shout out to the ladies.
Yeah, clock it.
Yes. Oh, that's what y'all do. Okay, I'm over here like this. Okay.
No, I'm saying that's what everybody does now. They'll say clock it.
Oh, I know nothing about that.
Yeah, young folks that I'm in school with, so they be teaching me.
Okay. So okay. Well, listen, I ain't telling you what to do, but I think it'd be nice next season if you actually do an anniversary draft party.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. And being the fact that next year's draft is in DC, it might be even nicer for y'all to go up there and invade DC.
Wow, you know what? I didn't even realize that the draft was in DC next year.
In DC next year. I'm just, now you can plan it because I know you're a planner.
I am. I have to plan.
And you got to do everything in advance.
Everything.
Yes. So that's what I was saying. So next season you could already have a payment plan set up for people by week 1.
Yeah, I wonder when is it going to ever be in Charlotte? Now, Charlotte, I know everybody tear up for that.
Yeah, y'all like the new Black Mecca over there between y'all and Houston. Yeah, North Carolina, Houston, Atlanta. Yeah, it's like a new Black Mecca over there.
Yeah, that's what they call Atlanta. That's what they were calling it when I first moved here.
Yeah, because everybody was going down there getting a 3-bedroom house for $500 a month.
Yeah, they were. And
they ain't like that no more though.
It's a wrap. Yeah, I literally was thinking about like my old house was literally like 5 something a month, and it was 3 bedrooms, 2,600 square feet, 2-car garage, all of that.
You had a 2-car garage too?
Yeah.
For $500 a month?
$587.
What?
Yeah, that house is paid all the way off too. And I took that house, sold that house, and bought the one I'm in now for cash. But this house is a newer house. This house is 6 years old when I got it. And it's not as spacious with the yard. It's only 1-car garage. Now that they call themselves modernizing, they putting 2 houses on a property that used to have 1 house. At least in the city they are, in the city limits. At that time, I had that. At that time, my mortgage was $587. My house was outside of Atlanta about 15 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, you was one of them people. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Yeah, you was one of them people.
Yo, back then, yo.
I'll be there in 20 minutes. The 20
yo.
What the hell is?
Yo, it's not Atlanta. There's a rapper, she got a song. She's like, this place is not like, she would be like, Decatur is not Atlanta. College Park is not Atlanta. Lithonia is not Atlanta. I can't remember that little girl name.
I was in Decatur too. I was in Decatur. My first time going to Atlanta, I was in Decatur.
And that's the thing. They say Decatur where it's greater, which is literally right there. Parts of Decatur, you can see downtown Atlanta. Yes. The girl name is Amaretta the Great. I had to think about her song came out like 2022.
Okay.
is not Atlanta, is what it was called.
Yeah, I was in Decatur when I first got there, and then the hotel I was staying at had a strip. That the guy told me late at night is where the women be at. That's what he said.
Oh, really?
I'm
Okay.
gonna be nice and say the women, but what he said was something
You was
different.
in Atlanta or Decatur?
I was in Decatur at that time.
I don't even know where that probably was at. Now, Atlanta, I could tell you if you probably was
You
up there
can
by
tell me
Jupiter,
where the ladies is at in Atlanta.
the ladies of the night,
The
probably,
ladies of the
and
yes,
other
ladies of the night.
persons out there too that spend all night out there. Those are by Jupiter Street off Peachtree. So
There's a bunch of peach trees though.
no, it's not. It's one Peachtree Street. Then there's Peachtree Ave, Peachtree. Like it's one Peachtree Street that runs all the way through the city.
Oh, it's Peachtree Street. Okay, all right. Cause I was like, hold up, dog. They're like, yeah, you on Peachtree? Like, hold up, dog. We just left Peach. How many peach trees is it? It was
That's
like
what people say. You gotta be either from Atlanta. You gotta be from Atlanta for a while. I've lived in Atlanta now longer than I've lived anywhere else. This is basically home for me. I've been here 25 years. I moved here like right out of college. And so this is where I am. And so that's how I know it. And it's funny because like some of my classmates that are not from here, they'll call me and they'll be like, yeah, girl, I'm trying to do that. And they don't even tell me where they are. They'll just be like, yeah, I'm headed to. And I'll be like, oh, you got to take this. They're like, girl, how do you know you're not even looking? I said, Atlanta is not that big. People think it is. But once you've been here over 20 years, it's very difficult. Every now and then I go somewhere that I don't know where I'm at, but it's usually not in Atlanta when I'm like that. If it's in Atlanta, I don't even need GPS. I'm good. I don't need Waze except for the traffic.
Yeah, take the back blocks on the traffic.
Facts.
The one thing that got me a little nervous in Atlanta, like on y'all roads is dark at night.
Oh yeah, that's the craziest thing. Even 285 that goes all around. So if anybody ever visits Atlanta, 285 goes around the city. So if you're on 285 and all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, didn't I already pass that exit before? You really did. That happened to me when I first got here. It goes around the city. It's not an interstate in itself. And you're on there for 60 miles around. So you're going to be on there for an hour if you go all the way around without traffic. But I will say that what was I saying? Oh, it gets dark.
No street light.
Yeah, that interstate is pitch dark, and that's scary. That's how Shawty Lowe got lost his life, and he's from Atlanta. He missed the exit coming off Washington Road because that area is very dark, and I'm sure he was under the influence or whatever. I don't know, but he was trying to get off the exit and struck it and ran off and hit a tree.
Wow.
So it's very, very, very possible because it's pitch dark.
And I was sitting there, I was saying to people, I was like, all the money Atlanta got, y'all couldn't get no street lights. It is too dark out here.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't have that. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was saying y'all need the street lights in the casino. I said they put a casino over here, the street lights would be better. I know that.
Oh yeah, well, we already paying enough taxes and stuff on everything, so they don't need to steal nothing else. At all.
Well, since she said that, I'm gonna leave it alone. It's my last question. We're getting up out of here after this, all right?
Okay.
How you feel about Cam Newton?
I love Cam. Cam is my favorite athlete of all time. I met him a couple of times. The last time I met him, I got a chance to actually take a picture with him. He was actually in a restaurant that just closed, the Antennas here in Buckhead. And I didn't even know he had walked in. I thought he was 2 Chainz because I just saw the locks. And the person I was with was like, that was Cam Newton. I was like, no, that ain't Cam. I know Cam because I used to tell everybody he's my son, that I had him really, really young. Right. But I love Cam. I love his new podcast, 4th and 1. He's funny. I'm trying to hook up with his dude Peggy to see if I can't get one of them on my podcast. But I miss Cam. I think that he should still be playing in the league. I know that's easy for me to say, but I know he has a desire to play in the league. He's still conditioning. You see him posting up his workout videos and what have you. But I'm going to say this, Dennis, and I say this truthfully. The longer a player is out of the league, the less likely they are to re-enter the league. And sadly, I feel
Unless
like,
unless you're Phillip Rivers.
yep, that's I was about to say, unless you're Philip. So we'll see Philip again when he's about to turn 55 because it's every 5 years so he can keep his insurance with the league. They're gonna bring him in for a couple of games and let him back out. But and Philip Rivers came in there looking like Ben Roethlisberger when he came back. He like a refrigerator. But as a quarterback, but I love Cam. Cam was the fire behind the movement of what the Panthers really were. He ignited the fan base to who they are now, to be honest. Because, like I said at the beginning of your show a little bit while ago, for the most part, as Panther fans, we would watch the Panthers just because they were our team, but it wasn't because we were watching them because we wanted to cheer on our team. It was just like, hey, Panthers are on. Okay. But they're on, but the volume is low. Now they're on and the volume is loud. We're following every play. And that's all because of the spark and the fun and the excitement that Cam brought to the Panthers organization. The best thing they did was bring him back during the playoffs. I could not watch that. I was so emotional, Dennis. I was crying because, they did not leave. They did not separate on good terms.
No, they still got a little bit of, turmoil.
Yeah. David Tepper came in because Jerry Richardson was forced to sell the team because of whatever come out that they never really vetted out completely that was inappropriate. They done took his statue down and everything in Charlotte. David Tepper came in. He wanted Ron Rivera and everybody connected to Ron Rivera out, that whole organization, because they were all connected to Jerry Richardson. He put it out that Cam and him parted ways amicable. Of course, Cam went on social media, was like, let's not get it twisted, y'all. No, I did not leave amicably. I was put out. I love the Panthers. This is where I wanted to be. They put me out, blah, blah, blah. So then that happened. They brought him back. They gave him an opportunity to come back during the Cardinals game. Everybody was hopeful. And Dennis, I'm going to tell you, my fan page was lit up. We had over, I think it was 12 or 1,300 requests that same day, that Sunday, to rejoin the page. It was like, I said, watch out, y'all. The Cammonites are coming back. Everybody that's been following Cam, they're coming back. The Cammonites is coming back. They wanted to rejoin the page, and sure enough, as soon as he played out and they had released him again, membership went back from Twitter. And I was like, yeah, they're here. So Cam, to me, will always be, that special person. It took me a while to accept that we had Bryce Young. I'm glad for where he is now, but it was difficult for me to say that you just signed somebody that is the inverse of what Cam Newton was size-wise. Cam was 6'5". You went and signed a 5'6" quarterback now. This dude is my height. I got his jersey, and people literally didn't thought that I was wearing his actual jersey. I said, no, I said, it's Bryce is not that small, y'all. They were like, girl, that's Bryce's real jersey. I said, y'all some haters. But, I still wish Cam could come back. I'm going to be honest. I love Bryce. I wish Cam could come back in a different role where he's not taking someone's job, because I do want Bryce to have the opportunity to grow and flourish. But again, the longer you stay out of the league, the less likely you are to come back. Look at Colin Kaepernick. Look at Dez Bryant. I could go on and on and on. Players that still wanted to be there that are not there. And so right now, Cam is, getting his coins. He's got these cigar bars throughout the city. He's got his food truck. He's got his foundation. He's doing his podcasting now. He was on ESPN. They done released him from that. Cam gets a bad vibe. People want to talk about how he dresses and all the theatrics he's got going on. But ain't nobody complaining about them kids he got. He still got the kids. He's still taking care of the kids, still involved with kids. I love Cam. Cam is always going to be like my favorite athlete.
I love it. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hopefully Cam Newton gets to hear that, because that was beautiful.
I hope so.
Yeah. But that was beautiful. This is good. I'd like to thank you for coming out and actually spending some time with me. We went way over time, but I'd like to thank you for coming out and spending some time with me. The one thing I am going to say about the Cam Newton situation, though, when he came back to the Panthers, I was having a conversation with OG, who's actually in the comments. That's Eolus, and we were sitting there, we was talking, and I was like, Cam can still play. And OG was like, I don't know about him still playing. I don't know about none of that. I'm like, man, listen, I wouldn't be shocked if he came back. He ain't coming back. And like the next week he came back. And I was like, well, I'll be there. I can't believe this happened. Like I was shocked. I was like, I'll be there.
Yeah,
And
I'm hoping for that again, honestly. I mean, I didn't like when he went to the Patriots. I was heartbroken. I just see Cam in Carolina always. I mean, that's how I look at him. If it don't work out with Bryce, Panthers holler at Cam one more time. I mean, he's still young. Get one more time. Let him spin the block that third time, please.
Get things right.
Get things right.
Yeah, I believe that. Get things right. I 100% believe that.
But I think we're gonna be good with Bryce. Honestly, I think we, where we need to be, and NFL need to watch out. We coming. We here.
Y'all heard what she said. They coming. They here. This is Dennis Holmes with the legal. Hold on. There you go. He said, I'm still shy. Like I said, this is Dennis Holmes, and I'm here with the legal score.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming on. God bless y'all. Great day.
Great day.